Mike, I did a little research after watching it, like 10 years after it got made, and I was really surprised because Helen, the trivia says Helen finished writing when she was still freshman at college. And I was really surprised because I was a freshman in college first watching the movie. So is that true, or?
Oh no, I was actually in college when I met Michael, and he had the idea to.
Helen had written a really good spec script called Blue Bayou, and it was off of that writing sample that we met in college. You're a screenwriter?
Oh, I'm still a student.
Well, the great thing about writing or even filmmaking today is you can use the smallest camera, and a computer's free, and you can start making films now.
How did you have the guts to write something like this at that age?
Oh, I didn't really. I mean, Michael really honestly had the vision for it, and honestly, Stacey had the know-how and the skills. I don't think I was that incredibly talented. I was just, I had a lot of raw material. I mean, I was only 20, and then honestly, it got really funny when Ben came on, and sort of, through doing the improvs with him, it was like going to the groundlings or something. Like I sort of learned about comic timing, and it made me rethink the other scenes in the movies, and it just suddenly, the bar kept getting, I mean, I think I stood on a lot of shoulders to get that made. So
but you were willing to take a lot of your own life.
I didn't know better. I was just, I had no dignity. I mean, I really didn't know that anyone would be upset or sue me or anything would happen or that my mother would mind that I mocked her. Oh, it's really, I don't recommend going out that way, but in a way it gives a certain authenticity, but I don't know.
I think a week before shooting we suggested we change the names of the parents from your
I remember Dad gave me his gas card, and he actually did take it back after the movie. It was very, I did have it.
However, I'm the one who ran up the tab. You weren't other people on the gas card I had.
Yeah, so it wasn't necessarily that. It was a lot of people getting in and teaching me how to take, make art, take your own experience and arrange in a certain way and make it funny and make it deep. And Ben also knows a lot about drama, although he's not known for that as much, but he has a very dramatic side as well, which I like.
We saw it in those close-ups.
No, it's like reds. They're kissing, it's like reds at the train station. I thought it was beautiful.
Also, the great thing, Ben, about your direction of film, I just was really blown away by composition. And then the other thing that's so subtle and funny, the way that you take the edge off of the sentimentality. Like when Michael and Elena kiss for the first time and the big gulps are there, that could have been such a corny scene, but because the big gulps and the choreography and the way he staged it, it's funny and charming. That was really fun for me to watch all these years later. Because I haven't seen it since we saw it here 18 years ago, all the way through.
I think we have time for a little more. Oh, Ben, you want to say something?
I was just going to say 18 years. It's weird. It's just weird.
What was it like for you at Sundance 18 years ago?
I don't remember much other than, did we have a party or something?
We did.
Really?
We did. And I have a picture actually from that night that I forgot to bring.
I remember, yeah. I mean, I remember definitely, for me, it was a big thing to have directed a movie and personally having wanted to do it my whole life. And then the experience of being in a movie, and I've done some stuff, but not a lot. And it's a different thing when you're acting, you're in a movie that gets out there. I remember doing the publicity tour. They sent me around to like every city in the U.S. to promote the movie.
I remember that because I think I had to go with you.
Yeah.
We went to Miami.
Then Seattle, Atlanta, Chicago. It was like, I guess that's what they do when they can make you do that. And it was like this kind of great experience. Like I felt like, I guess maybe having worked for a long time, even though I had that show that had gotten canceled, it felt like I was working and making movies, and like it was a good, like exciting, fun time. I mean, there's no time like that when you first movie. It's very exciting.
I remember nobody gave you free stuff at Sundance back then.
What's up, man? Back here in the...
Hi.
What's up? I was just wondering, you know, directing and acting is stressful enough, but you're also this indie guy dealing with, you know, an influential studio like Universal. I was just wondering, what sort of pressures were you under at that time, you know, trying to get this thing all figured out?
Well, I was very lucky to have Jersey Films because they were really protective and they were great producers and they made sure that we didn't really have to deal with all of that studio, you know, bull. And which I think a good producer does, they really protect the filmmaker. And I remember that Casey Silver was running the studio at the time. And I remember after our first preview, he was really good. We had our first preview I think the first one was
Palm Springs.
But then there was a third one maybe in the Valley, one in the Valley.
And the theater that they just took down. Yeah, that was a really good one.
They took it down, yeah. But I remember he just, you know, like after the preview, which, you know, he's the head of the studio and he could probably, you know, give you all sorts of notes, he just said, it's, you know what, I think it's great, it's what it is, and you know, go with God. But in a way that was very supportive of it just being what it was, and I think that's also because it was a low budget movie for them, so they didn't have a lot of writing on it, so they didn't really care.
They were so great because we would say things like the one sheet, which the beautiful redo of it for the 100th anniversary. We would have these ideas and we'd be like, we want an album cover photographer to shoot the one sheet, and you know, who are we to tell them that, you know, what we wanted? And actually, Anton Corbin, who's now a director, shot the one sheet for Reality Bites because we loved the Joshua Tree album cover and the REM album covers, and they just were like, okay, well, you guys can do that. They were great. Universal's always been a super supportive place to work. So
in general, Hollywood studios are actually good at telling you where there's a problem in what you're doing, but they're not that good in solving it. So you always find a synthesis between what they think needs to be done, and you come to with an original idea, or you kind of just slide them out of it by making them feel listened to.
And also, I think with Universal too, I think that now, you know, it is kind of difficult for a writer to get replaced and get the draft punched up by several other writers.